live streaming, please.
All right, well, we finished up kind of a physical day with full pads. Did most of it outside. I think we came in for the very last period, kickoff return in 2 minutes, and we begun to work on some of our opponents. So we're doing some periods a day, probably 2 periods a day on upcoming opponents to try to prepare for things that maybe our offense doesn't do, whether it's triple option or something our defense doesn't do, so that our offense can prepare for it. So we've had about 4 of those periods. They've been good. Got a lot of guys back from injuries that are maybe not 100%, but they're out there practicing close to healthy. And defense didn't practice very good today, so that was disappointing. But the offense was much better.
Questions?
Coach, for your secondary, that's kind of where you think you guys are. What's your biggest concern with that group going into the
Biggest concern would be depth. I don't know if we have enough depth. I think I've talked about the safeties. Tyreek being out for how long we don't know. It puts us thin there. We've been working Chris Smith more at safety because we think he's a really good athlete. Not a real big fella, but he's a good athlete, good tackler. So he's worked some there. And we got 4 or 5 corners that we think are competing. Bake's probably a little bit ahead, and then after that you can put Stokes, Campbell, Speed, Mark Webb, all kind of in the pool. And then at safety you got J.R. Reed a little bit ahead, Richard, Chris Smith, D'Lo's worked a little bit at safety, Otis, Jarvis, all those guys. Biggest concern is just depth. We don't have a lot of guys who have played. Frustrating today because we didn't play really good in the secondary.
Coach, I wanted to ask one more thing on the special teams thing. The fact that you don't hold back from playing your bigger players there. What kind of started that philosophy for you, and what makes you think that that's so important, the whole special teams aspect?
I think when you study the SEC, and we do a thing every year where we do a composite special teams ranking. And the composite special teams ranking is punt return, kickoff return, PAT, field goal block, and you rank everybody in the SEC where they finished, and then you put it together what their average is. And I think of the years I was at Bama, maybe 9 years, I think we were first or second in 8 of those years, and we always play the best players on that. And then first year I was here, we were dead last in the composite. And that wasn't all because of the coverage units or the players. We didn't kick the ball very good. But then last year we were actually first where the rankings came out, and our kids bought into it. They understand that. So last year our punt team was Sonny, Lorenzo, and Roquan. I think that's like incredible to have that 3 lineup on your punt team because we had so much speed. So we're trying to match that in everything we do. Punt returns are a weapon for us because we got a great return. So I think we got 6 starters on our punt return front line holding up. And those kids love it. They buy into it. It's fun to play it here at Georgia. We make it fun.
When you talk about the secondary, how would you evaluate how the freshman looks so far in terms of their understanding of the defense?
Oh, they don't have it yet, but freshmen never do. There's just so many adjustments in college football. You got spread sets, motions, orbits, rockets, bolts, and there's all these things people are doing. So I don't think they know it, but what's important is the guy that's behind them knows it. J.R. and Richard, you got to coach those young guys up and kind of get them fixed. Tyson Campbell's played well, and we've rolled him. He's actually gone the one some. I wouldn't call him a starter, but you got Eric's gone the ones, Mark Webb's gone the ones, and the youthfulness can be good because they're eager to learn. They come in and need extra, but experience is value, and they don't have a lot of experience making some of the adjustments they have to make. And to be honest, we challenge them. We throw a lot at them.
How far along is Devon Wilson as far as the recovery goes?
Well, according to Ron, he's ahead of schedule. He's doing really well. I don't want to. I can't put a date on it. He's running. He's hit up into the 17, 18 miles an hour, which is pretty good. He's at his fastest. He's 19, 20. So he's coming along well. He hasn't really cut though. Most of that running is straight line running. So I know this. It kills him not to be out there. He's out there every day behind people, watching, learning in every meeting. He's a hungry kid. He loves football.
Maybe a different angle on the whole secondary thing, but how having Jake and having Justin, two contrasting quarterbacks that can do different things, do you think that kind of helps you maybe, those guys having to practice against a veteran and a mobile guy kind of makes them a little bit better, kind of challenges them a little bit more?
I don't know that it has any effect on it. I really don't. I don't see those two as that different. And I think you guys see Jake and Justin a lot different than maybe we do. I mean, we run the same offense with both those guys, right? And so it's not like they're seeing that. Can Justin take off running better? Can he run some gun run stuff? Yeah, he certainly can. But I don't think our two defenses are seeing something different, really. We scramble. We practice scrambles. So Jake Crom scrambles in practice, and so does Justin, because a lot of your plays end up being scrambles. So no, I don't think there's a lot of difference in what our defense sees from those two.
Coach, have you decided on a starter? Will you announce a starting quarterback, or is that something we're
Yeah, I really hadn't even thought about it, to be honest with you. I mean, we let those two guys compete out. I mean, Jake's going with the ones almost the whole time, so we'll handle it as it goes. It's not like it's a predetermined announcement on this date. So it's not really the plans. We don't look at it that way. We look at it as those two guys are competing, and they'll continue to compete.
Another question on the secondary, but the other day you were talking about Eric Stokes. You know, he's kind of transformed from this raw type of player, I guess freshman, but when you read about recruiting him, and he didn't play D-back until later in high school, but what type of things did you see in his potential as a defensive backline?
Speed. I mean, we all know it's track prowess. I don't know, like I want to say he won the state a couple years, maybe pulled a hamstring that last year or something, but he was fast, elite fast, and that's hard to make up for that. I mean, faster players can make up for mistakes, so they can be wrong and catch up, and that's the number one thing we saw in here. I mean, he's a really good athlete, don't get me wrong. He's really kind of elastic. I mean, he can bend and stretch and contort his body, and he can run really fast. So he's done that well. He's rolled in there with the one some, competed. He didn't have a great day today, but hopefully he'll bounce back tomorrow. He's a competitor now, and he's bright. He's one of the few kids that can sit in the meeting and tell you everything that was said, and he'll execute it on the field.
Kirby, how's Zamir handling a tough situation after going through something similar before?
Zamir's great. And I know he reached out, and several players talked to him. Malcolm Mitchell's been around here. He talked to him about his issue, and then Nick reached out to him, talked to him. Todd reached out, talked to him. A lot of guys have talked to him. I think he's in great spirits. He still sits in on meetings, and it's been real positive. We've got a great family atmosphere. Those backs all care about him, and they've spent time with him. He understands. That's the one thing about once you've done it once, you know what you're headed down. Where before, you have no idea the road you're headed down. And now he's done this once, so he knows he can top it and get after it.
How do you find out that Nick and Malcolm Mitchell called? Did he tell you that? Did those guys tell you? And what do you think?
Ron handled it. Ron does
Okay.
the interviews. Ron wanted to be positive with the kid, having Malcolm here in house and spend some time with him, and then those other backs that he kind of looks up to. Those guys have been through it. It's very encouraging to talk to other people that have experienced.
How much more contact will you have? Will there be another formal scrimmage, or will you start to taper down on that?
No, we're not gonna have a formal scrimmage, no, but we have contact every day. I mean, the level of contact probably won't be that of a scrimmage. We're more in the mode of, hey, we're gonna practice like we did leading up to scrimmages. We'll get after it tomorrow. We'll get after it Saturday. I mean, I don't know how you taper back and you become a physical football team. So we're not gonna do that. We'll get after it, practice hard. A couple days next week, and then probably lighten up Wednesday, Thursday.
We thought it was interesting yesterday. We were talking to the running backs. I think it was Elijah talked about Dale McGee and how he says all the time, "Think less, work more." Yeah, I just wanted to know kind of where that, if you've heard him say that, if that was kind of something that you guys do as a staff, that you kind of just try to get the guys to buy into that kind of philosophy.
I haven't actually used that saying. It's probably Dale's. I haven't heard him use it, but it's a good one. Think less, work more. For a back, a lot of times that's what it's about. Don't sit there and think about where you are on the depth chart. Don't think about what you have to do. Be instinctive. Respond when you get the ball and do what you naturally do. I mean, if you're here as a running back, you're probably pretty talented. So you want to think less. Don't overcoach things and work more. Go to work. And those backs work. I give them that. They compete, work, special teams. They do it all.
Kirby, with the punting situation, I haven't seen Marshall long out there the last couple of days. And is Camarda close to winning that position?
I can't say. Kamara had a better day yesterday. We didn't punt today, but Kamara had a better day yesterday than Stratton. But I wouldn't say that Marshall Long's 100% right now. So it's been a tough battle for him and a tough road. it's not over yet as far as he's going.
When you've got a situation like Marshall has had here, comes in healthy, starter, and then kind of seems like physically a lot has just gone wrong for him since. What do you guys do as a staff to kind of keep their head in it and keep them going?
Well, I think, Ron and his staff spend more time with their special teams coach, Scott Fountain. We're fortunate to have someone that just works with special teams, where it used to be all the coaches kind of did special teams. Now we have a guy that specializes in it. So psychologically, he's around those guys more often. But Ron's been around Marshall more than probably anybody because he's been injured so much. And he's been through so much. So the biggest thing is supporting those guys, being positive with them, making sure he's handling his academics off the field because he can't control the injury bug.
What kind of GPS number y'all get as far as speed goes this year with y'all this fall camp?
We've been pretty good. We were faster in the second scrimmage than we were last year's second scrimmage, but then we gave them kind of 2 days off and came back yesterday, and we were slower yesterday than we were last year. So it's been hit or miss. We were a fast team last year, evidenced on the field. We've had very similar numbers, but we try to monitor some of these guys with soft tissue injuries and cut them down when they hit certain yardages. But I didn't feel like we were very fast today.
How many guys over 20 are you getting right now?
Well, it depends on the day. Scrimmage, we had maybe 9 or 10, which is a lot. But we didn't have many. I think we had 2 the day we practiced Tuesday. I don't know today because I haven't seen the numbers.
Has Solomon Kinley had a good camp, and how does he fit into what you guys are doing in guard?
He's had a solid camp. I don't know. I mean, probably better than average. I don't know if you'd say good. I mean, those guys are all competing. Solly's rolled in there with the ones and competed some. Trey's rolled in there with the ones. Kendall Baker's been rolling in with the ones at left guard and right tackle. Again, that's a thick competition that we're going to judge today's tape, tomorrow's tape, and as we begin on Austin Peay, we'll set a little bit of a depth chart so that we can say, okay, who's going to get the majority of the reps? But there's still going to be swinging guys in there, swinging back and forth. But Solly works hard. Solly loves football. I enjoy being around Solly. He has a few mental busts every now and then, but he's working to overcome those.
You mentioned, some guys kind of working their way back, trying to get healthy. Would you put Terry in that?
Yeah.
In that?
He's been out there. I don't know if you guys noticed. He's practiced it. I think he hit maybe 3,500 yards yesterday, which is the most he's hit all camp. And he got a little fatigued because he's not in practice shape. And then he wasn't injured. He just is not in practice shape. So he got about 3,500. I don't know what he got today, but I thought he really pushed through hard today. He was gassed at the end of practice. I hope he got around 4,500, but I don't know those numbers yet. Kieris was back out there today doing more. So getting some of those guys back. Bill's out there doing more. DeQuan Hawkins was out there doing things more. We're getting a lot of guys back. And then Jason Stanley's a little dinged and out, so he lost a couple games.
Now, when it comes to your receivers, I know you love that room, and you've talked about how deep that room is, but what's Terry mean to you there, getting that experience and gaining experience back?
You can't put a measurement on the value of confidence he brings in the room. And quarterbacks, they feel really confident. They know Terry's going to run the right route. They trust Terry's going to be at the right depth. Terry's one of our best fade throw guys. He's really good at that. We've been missing some back shoulders. Terry's good at that. I mean, there's a lot of things Terry's really good at, and it gives us some confidence out there to go play. And I've been pleased with the receiver room, competition in it. Terry's got great experience, but those other guys have really been competing hard, helping on special teams. I don't think that we have just a dominant wideout. We don't have that, but we've got a group by committee that, man, they work hard.
2 more questions? Is the plan to play 2 quarterbacks in the season that started Austin Peay and just go for it?
I really don't know that. I think we're going to wait and see how things go. I mean, you don't really have a plan going in. Your plan is to say, all right, I want the best guy to play. And if a guy brings something to the table that another guy doesn't, and we feel like it's advantageous for us, whether we have a package or we do something with him, but I won't sit here and tell you there's a plan for anything. Right now our plan is to get both those guys ready to play. How do we get them ready to play? We give them reps. We let them see fastball. We let them see run plays. They run a lot of the same plays during the day. It's not like, oh, there's this Justin Fields offense, there's this Jake Fromm offense. We're not doing that. That's not fair to Justin. Justin's a good quarterback. So we're letting both those guys grow and develop. And we learned last year that we don't know what the future holds at quarterback. So you have to have guys ready to play. I mean, we've invested just as many reps in our third guy. But he's got to be ready to play.
Do you know who the third guy is?
Yeah, probably Matthew Down. He's taking the majority of the reps. He would be the guy right now that would go against the 3. But I'll
Nate,